Hey guys, today I am going to release a tool that I made with the Geometry Script plugin for Unreal Engine 5. And what you can do with this tool is make all kinds of cool tunnel shapes, like these ones that you see here, with windows in them, or you don't have to have windows. You can have sort of alternating materials like this. You can make all kinds of cool stuff with the tool. I'll show you how it works here. So I'll just drag one into the world here. And the first thing I'll look at here is the size handle. So this is pretty basic. This is where you're going to set the radius and the height using the X and the Y on the handles, or on the handle, and then you're going to set the thickness of the wall using the Z handle. All right, and so once you've set up the size and thickness, you might change the amount of revolve degrees. Maybe instead of a 180 piece, maybe this is just a 90-degree elbow, or a 45-degree little connector piece, or maybe it's going to come nearly wrap around like this or something. So you can set up how far you want it to go like that, and you can offset your revolve if you want, rather than rotating the piece for some reason. You could say offset this by 90 or whatever. Next, you can set up a Polygon Resolution that's higher or lower. So depending on the size that you're going with and the wall thickness that you're going with, you may or may not need more or fewer polygons. So you can adjust that. It has window, of course, is going to add a window. And it just puts this default size window to start with. And you can say the number of instances here, maybe 2 or 3, or of course, however many that you want. And we can also add glass to the window. So what I'm going to do here is just set a material for the tunnel. I'll set this to, let's set this to oak. All right, and then I'll set the glass to has window glass to true. And now we need to set a material for this glass. And so I'll set this to one of the glass materials that I snagged from the Lyra project here. All right. And now let's move on here. We can set the width and the height, of course. Pretty basic stuff here. Let's say I wanted to make these a bit bigger, 100 by 100. And the corner radius, maybe I want them square. I'll set that to 0. Or maybe I want them to be really round here. I can set this to 50 and set my width and height to 0. Now I've got just circles, like portholes kind of thing. And let's see here. I can also set the window step round is going to make these look a little bit less jagged here on the edges. I can set this higher, like 12. And the UV scale, so that's going to change basically the scaling of our material here. So this looks a little bit too high. I'll lower this. We'll say 10 or even 5. And in the other dimension here, maybe 3, 2, well, something like that's probably fine. All right, and so the last thing we can do here basically is once you're done, you've set it up here, it's finished looking how you want it to look, you would generate a static mesh. So I can click this here, and it's created this new static mesh for me, and I can see this in my content drawer here. And I can drag this out, let's say, and I can use these pieces now to build out pieces of my level. Let's say I'm using a bunch of these. You've got some, connector over here and a tunnel over there and a piece over here and there. Maybe even some of them are scaled up or down or whatever. And then let's say I've got my tool. You would just stash this away. Let's say you stash this underneath the map so that it's out of sight, but it's there for later. And for later is, let's say you come along and you say, oh man, I made this, but I really wish that I made those square instead of round. What you can do is you don't have to go out to Blender or do any other modeling software. You just go back to your original tool that's underneath the map from earlier, and you find the corresponding tool, and you say, okay, I'm just going to change these here to 50 and 50, and corner radius to 1. Well, maybe I'll make these a little bigger, maybe 75 by 75. All right, and I'll just say update static mesh. And now if I go back to my original meshes in the level, they've been updated. And so that's the cool part about using these tools, is that you're able to make a change later or a little tweak or something like that. Maybe you want to tweak the material or tweak the UVs. And you just do that on your original tool, and all of the instances in your world or your level will automatically be updated. Okay, so that pretty much covers the tool, and I hope that you can make something cool with it. Hope you enjoyed watching the video, and I'll see you in the next one.